back to the channel. Today we're going to unravel some incredibly complex events in Genoa. Rumors are circulating around the Newman family, but what's the truth? In this video, I'll summarize the plot points that will be revealed in the next episode. Stay tuned to see what happens.
Welcome back to our channel, where we deliver the most explosive and heartbreaking updates from the dramatic world of Genoa City. Today is a thrilling day to dive deep into the treacherous corporate waters and emotional battlefields of the young and the restless. Grab a seat and let us unravel the shocking twists that are about to change everything. Genoa City is a town built on immense power, calculated deception, and the shattered dreams of those who dare to cross its legendary titans. But absolutely nothing could prepare its residents for the seismic shockwave that has just been unleashed. Victor Newman, the undisputed, ruthless patriarch of the Newman Empire, has officially declared a merciless, scorched-earth legal war against Spectre Charles media. This is not merely a standard hostile corporate takeover. It is a highly publicized execution designed to humiliate, bankrupt, and utterly destroy the women who dared to claim a piece of his legacy. The entire business landscape of the city is trembling as Victor bypasses traditional boardroom negotiations, opting instead for a devastating legal bloodbath that threatens to leave no survivors. What dark, twisted motivations are truly fueling Victor's sudden, unquenchable thirst for absolute vengeance? The sheer velocity and brutality of Victor Newman's unprovoked assault have left Sally Spectre and Audra Charles in a state of profound, paralyzing shock. Recognizing the apocalyptic threat looming over their hard-built enterprise, the two women made a desperate, humbling play for survival in a ruthless corporate ecosystem. In a rare moment of vulnerability, they approached the Newman patriarch with an olive branch, proactively offering to sell Newman media back to him at a severely discounted rate just to escape his impending, catastrophic wrath. They were willing to swallow their pride and walk away, hoping that a swift capitulation would spare them from total financial ruin. Will their unprecedented willingness to surrender be enough to appease the legendary wrath of the mustache? However, in a display of breathtaking cruelty that shocked even his closest allies, Victor flatly and coldly refused their surrender. He does not just want the company returned to his sprawling portfolio. He wants to watch Sally and Audra bleed financially and emotionally until there is nothing left of their ambitions. He is visibly reveling in the psychological torture, savoring the terror in their eyes as he slowly, methodically tightens the legal noose around their necks. For Victor, this is no longer about reclaiming a business asset. It is about punishing insolence and sending a chilling message to anyone who might challenge his supremacy. Why would a man who already possesses unimaginable wealth choose to prolong a destructive war when total victory was handed to him on a silver platter? Despite the frantic and desperate pleas from his own sons, Adam and Nick Newman, who actively begged their father to reconsider this catastrophic course of action, Victor has chosen the path of maximum destruction. Adam, who secretly harbors deep, protective instinct over Sally and her unborn child, is watching in absolute horror as his father tortures the woman he once loved. Nick, currently battling his own terrifying demons and a crippling fentanyl addiction, is disgusted by the sheer lack of humanity Victor is displaying in this unprovoked attack. Yet Victor has callously brushed aside his son's warnings, viewing their empathy as a pathetic, intolerable weakness. By alienating his own flesh and blood to pursue this vindictive crusade, is Victor isolating himself on a lonely throne of ashes? Rather than utilizing standard corporate bailouts or aggressive stock acquisitions, Victor has unleashed a terrifyingly precise weapon, a legion of the country's most elite, ruthless, and morally ambiguous corporate attorneys. This shadow army of legal assassins has been explicitly tasked with dissecting every single document, contract, and private communication involved in the founding and merger of Spectre Charles Media. They are not looking for a fair fight in the boardroom. They are hunting for microscopic legal loopholes, minor compliance infractions, and hidden administrative errors that can be weaponized into catastrophic federal lawsuits. Victor's strategy is a masterclass in corporate sadism, transforming the justice system into his own personal guillotine. Will this relentless legal inquisition uncover a fatal flaw that could send Sally and Audra straight into the unforgiving jaws of a federal penitentiary? The terror escalated exponentially when Victor took his malicious threats out of the shadows and into the glaring spotlight of the public eye. He has openly and brazenly threatened Sally and Audra with a relentless barrage of astronomically expensive, multi-million-dollar lawsuits that would immediately freeze their assets, shatter their credit, and force them into inescapable bankruptcy. By publicly broadcasting his intent to ruin them, Victor is systematically destroying their professional reputations, scaring away potential investors, advertisers, and crucial business allies. Spectre Charles Media is rapidly becoming a toxic entity, a sinking ship that no one in Genoa City dares to rescue for fear of incurring Victor Newman's legendary unforgiving wrath. How long can a newly merged media company possibly survive when the most powerful billionaire in the state has publicly marked them for financial slaughter? While Sally grapples with the emotional devastation, her partner, the usually unflappable and cunning Audra Charles, is frantically scrambling to construct a viable legal counter-strategy. Audra is a woman who prides herself on always being 3 steps ahead, a master manipulator who thrives in the treacherous, murky waters of corporate espionage. Yet, as she exhaustively reviews the mountainous legal filings and injunctions hurled at them by Victor's elite legal team, a terrifying realization washes over her. They are completely, hopelessly outgunned. Victor's legal web is airtight, woven with infinite financial resources and unparalleled, calculated malice. Every defensive maneuver Audra attempts is instantly neutralized, leaving her feeling a rare and paralyzing sense of absolute impotence. As the harsh reality of their impending doom sets in, will the foundation of the Spectre Charles alliance begin to fracture under the immense pressure? Audra's desperation is compounded by the dark, explosive secrets she carries from her past, vulnerabilities that Victor's legal bloodhounds might inadvertently unearth. Her murky history in Los Angeles, including her terrifying connection to a deceased art dealer and the hush money orchestrated by Holden Novak, remains a ticking time bomb waiting to detonate. If Victor's forensic accountants dig too deeply into Audra's personal financial history to find leverage, they might stumble upon a criminal conspiracy that goes far beyond simple corporate malfeasance. Audra knows intimately that Victor is the kind of ruthless predator who would gladly trade a corporate lawsuit for a criminal blackmail scheme if it served his ultimate goal of total domination. Will Victor uncover the bloody truth of Audra's past, transforming a bitter corporate lawsuit into a full-blown murder investigation? At the heartbreaking, emotional center of this corporate massacre is Sally Spectre, a woman whose psychological fragility is currently at an all-time, terrifying high. Sally is not just fighting for her business legacy. She is fighting for her very future while carrying a child. Having already endured the profound, soul-shattering trauma of losing her first baby, Eva, Sally's current situation is a waking nightmare that threatens to repeat history. The immense, crushing weight of Victor's legal terrorism is taking a horrific, undeniable toll on her physical and mental well-being. The extreme anxiety, the sleepless nights, and the constant, looming threat of losing everything she has bled to build are pushing Sally to the absolute brink of a total emotional breakdown. She is terrified that the unbearable stress caused by Victor's relentless, cruel attacks could jeopardize her delicate pregnancy. Will the sheer cruelty of targeting a pregnant woman with such vindictive force finally expose the darkest, most unforgiving corners of Victor Newman's soul? In the face of this insurmountable adversary, Sally must urgently evaluate her alliances and determine who she can truly trust. Her fiancé, Billy Abbott, is already deeply embroiled in his own chaotic vendettas and psychological unraveling, making him a potentially volatile and unreliable shield against the Newman juggernaut. Can Sally truly rely on Billy to protect her, or will his impulsive, destructive tendencies only provide Victor with more lethal ammunition? Alternatively, she could turn to Adam Newman, the man who knows Victor's dark playbook better than anyone else alive. But seeking Adam's help comes with a treacherous emotional cost, potentially igniting Billy's volatile jealousy and destroying the fragile peace she has so desperately fought to maintain. Who can Sally truly turn to when the most powerful man in the world has sworn to tear her life apart piece by piece? But Victor Newman may have severely miscalculated the explosive and tamed power of a mother backed into a corner with nothing left to lose. As the legal threats mount and the reality of losing everything stares her directly in the face, Sally's profound despair is rapidly transmuting into a blinding, white-hot fury. She remembers vividly every single time the Newman family has looked down on her, ruthlessly discarded her, and treated her as meaningless collateral damage in their grand, dynastic games. The fiery determination that once drove her to conquer the fiercely competitive fashion world in Los Angeles is reigniting with a terrifying vengeance. Sally absolutely refuses to be the tragic, helpless victim in Victor's twisted narrative of control. What dark, forbidden lines is Sally Spectra willing to cross to protect her legacy and her baby from the monster of Genoa City? Sally's boiling point has officially been reached, and her fury is a force of nature that cannot be contained by legal injunctions or corporate threats. She will not allow the Newman patriarch to suffocate her dreams, steal her company, and threaten the stability of her unborn child's future. With her back against the wall, Sally is meticulously preparing to unleash a desperate, highly unpredictable counterattack that will shake the very foundations of the Newman Empire. She is channeling all her anger, all her past trauma, and all her maternal protective instincts into a singular, razor-sharp focus aimed directly at Victor's heart. She knows that to defeat a monster, one must sometimes become a monster themselves. Will Sally's explosive retaliation finally be the move that brings the great Victor Newman to his knees? The atmosphere in Genoa City has reached a suffocating, explosive boiling point as the battle lines are irrevocably drawn. Victor Newman sits in his towering office, a predator patiently watching his prey exhaust themselves in a terrifying labyrinth of legal terror. Down below, Sally Spectra stands in the offices of her besieged company, her hands protectively cradling her pregnant belly, her eyes burning with an unquenchable, defiant rage. The war for Newman media has transcended mere business. It has become a visceral, bloody fight for survival, identity, and the fundamental right to exist in a city ruled by a tyrant. The collateral damage from this impending collision of titans is guaranteed to be absolutely catastrophic. As the gavel prepares to fall and the lawsuits prepare to strike, who will be left standing in the ashes of this ruthless, unforgiving corporate battlefield?